No other car has evoked more emotion when you hear it or see it than the Ferrari. And no other Ferrari has the potential to rekindle those feelings than the Ferrari 458 Italia. I'm Michelle Rahal with the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com. Today we're going to take a closer look at this beautiful piece of art from Maranello. The Italian sports car makers were born from emotion, arguments, grudges, and stubbornness. But the one thing they could never argue about was sheer style. Not all of it was good. But style and performance were their mantra. Enzo Ferrari first entered the automotive world as a driver for Alfa Romeo alongside legends such as Tazio Nuvolari. But he discovered that racing them and building them were two totally different things. He chose to build them, but not without conditions. Enzo Ferrari built street cars for one reason and one reason only, so he could afford to build racing cars, period. The one car that comes the very closest to marrying the racing technology in a street car is the 458 Italia. Of course, Ferrari, the company, built the Enzo, the GTOs, and the F40, but those were reserved for the most qualified drivers as customers. Later it became who had spent the most money with the company, but that's a completely different story. Enzo Ferrari was never known to be madly in love with any of his customers or racing drivers, except for perhaps Gilles Villeneuve, who was killed in 1982 at the Belgian Grand Prix. So when Enzo's son Dino wanted to build a car that was mid-engine powered for street customers, Ferrari wasn't pleased. Unfortunately, Dino was ill with muscular dystrophy, and Ferrari relented with offering up a V6-powered small car that was called the Dino. It never held a Ferrari name, but it did carry the prancing horse badge. Ferrari flatly believed that his customers could not handle a car that had too much horsepower and racing technology without crashing them. Well, that's proved to be a premonition that's become all too real. Well, Dino died at the age of 24, and the Dino 246 was built. But Ferrari's idea of the regular customer handling that much horsepower and technology without crashing them wasn't an exaggeration. Over the last decade, you'd be hard-pressed to find a mid-engine Ferrari that hasn't hit something. And now we have the Italia, the beautiful Italia. This Ferrari is truly the blending of what they learned on the racing tracks of the world and utilizing it on a street car that us regular folks can buy. That is, if you can pony up the regular $250,000 for one. This car is absurdly Ferrari. It is nothing short of a masterpiece. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, a 560 horsepower V8, a remarkable transmission in the Getrack dual-clutch 7-speed. There's no manual shifting options. When you click these paddles to upshift, it upshifts. This is Formula One stuff, and it doesn't stop there. Carbon ceramic brakes and rotors that actually place the brake pistons themselves up next to the rotors when you lift out of the throttle. 8 ways from Sunday to set the way the car handles, and the engine revs up to 9,000 RPMs. All of this in a street car. The control room for this beauty is the steering wheel. Michael Schumacher, 7-time Formula One world champion, reportedly had a hand in the technical and the control functions of this car. Well, if that's true, that's why all the controls are on the steering wheel itself. Pure Formula One. And sort of a warning, now don't take your hands off this wheel. The other warning is like putting a teenager in a room with a lot of buttons, pretty buttons, and saying, you can touch any button in this room, but you see that big red button? Whatever you do, don't touch that one. What do you think's going to happen? He's turning that sucker to full race mode, and there goes another Ferrari sailing into the trees. The point is that there are a lot of you out there that are going to buy one of these cars, whether it's new or used in a few years. By all means, if you can afford it, buy it. This is a magnificent piece. But do yourself a favor. Spend a little extra money and go to a racing school such as Skip Barber or my preference, Bertil Roos. And whatever you do, until you can really drive other than in your own mind, don't touch that race mode button. For the Drive Channel and thedrivechannel.com, I'm Michelle Rahal. Next episode, the new McLaren MP4 12C.